roads to the city streets, Firestone Destination Tires take you anywhere you want to go.
Designed to be responsive and with solid traction, there is a Firestone Destination tire that's right for you.
So whether you drive a truck or SUV, on the highway or the road less traveled, remember whatever you drive a Firestone.
Available at Garland Tire, 1212 North Main Avenue in Irwin, serving Unicoi County for 68 years.
I love the heavy metal opening that you just heard and you're hearing now on Tri-City Sports Now. I love that. I'm going to tell you here. All right. Earlier, you've heard about what happened with Rich Rodriguez at Arizona. And I wanted to mention this before talking more about the NFL and the week. And, I touched about, obviously, Mike Mularkey, that's been the major news. I think the wrong coach named Mike was fired. I've just had it with Mike Tomlin. Here's the thing about, just recapping this. Has there been, last year when Terry Bradshaw called Mike Tomlin a cheerleader, sort of Jason Whitlock, by the way, and there's all this scuttlebutt, and people defended Tomlin, over Bradshaw. And there's always been sort of a divide because Bradshaw was the Southerner and he was always looked at kind of as the outsider in Pittsburgh. And, he won the job over Terry Hanratty, who was from Western PA and all this. So despite his accomplishments, there was always this feeling that Bradshaw, and it's ridiculous, but he never quite fit in. Okay. And so this was another reason for a divide. What I found, though, to be sacrilege, and I think it was very telling about Mike Tomlin was in that press conference. He said, back in the day, I was a Cowboys fan. I liked Hollywood Henderson. What do the Steelers behave like now? All mouth, no discipline. The very antithesis of what the Steelers were known for under their glory days of the 70s, or really even, to a certain extent, Bill Cowher. I covered the Steelers at that point one time under Bill Cowher. But now, I used to wonder why, and I do, like I said, I don't like to be the fanboy here, but why I was more comfortable and always said, boy, the Steelers, Rooney's, Noel, back in that's class. People tried to say that with the Cowboys, but Tom Landry, my goodness, that was the guy who cut Stallings in North Dallas 40, right? I mean, that was B.A. That was, that was Landry. And the Cowboys always were the arrogant team of Henderson. I'll tell you why we built Texas Stadium this way, so God could see his favorite team looking down on him. Of cry, rise, and weep, we're number one. Remember that? That was the Cowboys. And, of course, cry, rise, and weep, we're number one didn't last that long. Because they'd always lose the Steelers. Or the Colts. Or, or the Rams in 79. I mean, this was not the team of the 70s. It was the Steelers. They fell short. They talked, the Steelers won. I remember after Super Bowl 13, Jack Lambert up there. How'd you win the game? And he would go break down the defense to a national audience. Well, this is what we did. This is the scheme, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't cliches. It was technical. It was straight to work, lunch pail. This is what we do. That wasn't, and look who won the ball game. And this is just so much now, that unlikable Dallas team to me. And that's what the Steelers have become. It's a total antithesis of what their signature as a franchise has been. That's why I think Tomlin has got to go. Absolutely has to go. I don't care if you put the man in the moon as a coach right now. I'm just sick of players being suspended for drugs. I'm sick of players getting pulled over in their car because they're smoking marijuana and they missed the game. I'm sick of this lack of discipline. And it's costing the Steelers, their window of opportunity is rapidly shrinking. And, for my money, the wrong coach named Mike was fired today. I'll go right out and say that. Don't let the cold weather give you the chills. You want to head to Big John's Closeouts for all your cold weather needs for pipe insulation, heat tapes to pipe repair parts, and more. Well, you didn't leave the water running, and now, Now at Big John's, you get Smart Shreds blow-in insulation. And you know what? It's less than $7 a bag. $6.99. $6.99 a bag for that insulation. Smart Shreds insulation. And that comes with a free blower rental with the deposit. 1,000 square feet blown in at R19 is only $215, tax and all. Or R30 for only $360. This is at Big John's Closeout. I'll be driving past them today at 238 East Elk Avenue in Elizabethton. Thanks. So you're going to want to check that out. All right. I was mentioning other coaching candidates. Kevin Sumlin, he's the new coach at, this is what I was trying to get to before I got sidetracked. Kevin Sumlin, he's the new coach at Arizona, late of Texas A&M. He was the second highest paid coach in the SEC. I doubt he'll be the second highest paid coach in the Pac-12, but nevertheless, there was a little bit of talk that Butch Jones might have gone to Arizona because Jones and the AD at Arizona used to work together at Central Michigan, but no, a search firm was hired. And so, the big name coaches, not necessarily the young up-and-comers. Question now, Sumlin, I'm not sure. I mean, he put up winning records. Question is, never could knock off Alabama. So the question now is it easier to knock off Alabama or Southern California? That's the point there. I don't know. One could do worse. One could do far worse at Arizona than Sumlin. Sumlin still has a decent reputation. And it seems like kind of the way that, Arizona hires people. Okay, he got fired at Texas A&M. Let's bring him in. Rich Rodriguez, he got fired at Michigan. Let's bring him in. It's kind of the way Arizona does it. Arizona has never won the Pac-12. Never won the Pac-12. I'm kind of surprised about that. But nevertheless, someone now leaving the football school A&M to go to the basketball school in Arizona to coach football. But Arizona could have done far worse. I mean, that's just the bottom line. So it looks like Butch Jones is going to be the volunteer assistant at Knox Catholic this upcoming year. And it also looks like, it looks like that's going to be... I think that he might break into broadcasting. I actually think Jones would be a good color commentator or studio guy. I think that I wouldn't want him to touch my team with a 10-foot pole. 9-4 seasons, notwithstanding. Just too many players injured. Just the lying on the injuries. I don't know. Though, what do we want from our media? Just the guy that never seemed to get it. The Dre Bowles situation. The not counting to 14. It just, despite the success that he did have at Tennessee, I don't want him. No. And I think that's one of the reasons why a search firm would never hire a Butch Jones. Anyway, Tri-City Sports Now. I am Marky Billson. I did say, and I wanted to talk a little bit about this. Boy, so much stuff here that we could get on here in our next hour. But Keith Jackson passing away, the voice of college football. To me, also just a all-around universal sportscaster. By the way, if you like our 1420 NBC Sports Radio Tri-Cities Facebook page, you can see one of the last interviews he did. It was Dan Patrick, and it was on our airwaves. It was 2016.